Hello, Fiedelbogen here. To my fellow workers in the vineyard, worldwide, greetings. The talk today is a policy statement of the Non-Feminist Coalition. We reject violence. Violence is unnecessary and counterproductive as a political method of operation. We, the politically activated non-feminist coalition, reject the use of violence except as the imperatives of self-defense might require it. But at the same time, we realize that if conditions X, Y, and Z are in place and continue unabated, then violence, as a primordial force in the world at large, will be the probable outcome. This violence may channel itself through numerous subcultures, agendas, ideologies, and so on, and yet, being primordial, it will transcend all of those. Such is the nature of a primordial force, natural, impersonal, chaotic, and not at all political as most people would understand that term. Pragmatically speaking, if a targeted demographic is subjected to conditions X, Y, and Z systemically and en masse, then violence in its limitless and twisted forms will be the result. Therefore, without prescribing violence, we may safely and quite ethically predict its appearance in the world as a natural consequence of certain conditions. And so we, the politically activated non-feminist coalition, will find no profit in promoting, instigating, or advocating violence. We are painfully aware that objective conditions will breed violence independently of anything we say or don't say about the situation. So in effect, we do not need to push the river. It is enough for us to sit upon the bank, to gaze upstream, and to make note of what the current will deliver. Hence, prediction becomes our weapon, or rather our shield, for it keeps us, the predictors, upon the moral high ground. The other side can either listen and heed our wise counsel proactively, or carry on with business as usual. If they choose the latter, they will come down on the wrong side of history. This is somewhat like the mafia game of making them an offer they can't refuse. But there's a vast difference, because when the mafia does this, it is a threat of mafia violence, plain and simple. But when we do this, we are issuing no threat of any kind, since the only threatening element is a force majeure beyond our control. The threat is therefore ambient, and we are merely directing attention to what should be obvious. Yet we are making an offer, namely, an offer to advise the other side for its benefit and for the benefit of the world. And if they are wise, they will not refuse this. Rather, they will lend an ear. Are we not predicting the eruption of primordial violence and making it clear how to prevent such a thing? When we warn of an imminent danger, we discharge our duty. Thereafter, the onus falls upon the other side, and we have only to sit beneath a tree with arms folded and make note of how the other side measures up. We have summoned them to accountability and responsibility, and our merit in so doing will characterize us, even as their failure to heed the summons would characterize them. When the other side proffers violence, be it physically or spiritually, openly or by proxy, they choose to be the aggressor. And since the rule is that the aggressor sets the terms of engagement, the non-aggressor is morally entitled, in a pinch, to answer like with like. So violence becomes an acceptable method if used in self-defense against a violent aggressor, and, lower on the spectrum, Sneaky tricks are acceptable if the aggressor uses them first. But in the end, we wish to keep violence and all unhappy consequences of the present historical crisis to an absolute minimum. Accordingly, the other side confronts a moral choice to either collaborate with such a project or to hinder it, and whichever road they follow, history will judge them. Thedelbogen, out.